Hello, hello, and welcome back to Business as Magical Practice and happy Halloween week. Or is it Halloween? I don't know. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening to the podcast in real time, Halloween is only 3 days away, which hopefully means you already have your costume picked out, or at least you have your altar set up to honor the ancestors if that's more your thing. I'm actually celebrating Halloween this week in the costume form, and I usually don't, but I've decided a theme for the family where my husband, Eddie, is going to be a merman, and I'm not pushing him too hard because he's not really a holiday person, but I got him these like surf trunks that have like a mermaid fin print on it and a shirt, like a very simple t-shirt that has seashells, starfish right over where the nipples would be. And then if we're gonna get really crazy, I ordered some of these shell shaped pasties for him, which I mean, he probably won't wear, but I'm like cracking up nonstop thinking about these. I'm going to be a fisher woman or a fisher person with like a straight up pipe and yellow raincoat and all the things. And then our two dogs, the one little tiny 5-pound one, I have a shark costume for him. It was actually a hamster shark costume, which apparently fits him. And then for our medium-sized dog, I got a lobster costume. So it's all coming together, and I'm really excited about it. And my crafty plan is to make it so that the dog leashes look like little fishing lines. So like the end of them are little hooks for hooking on the fish. Anyways, I'm all stoked. But let's jump on into the episode where we're talking. It's a very Halloween themed episode, you guys. And you might have already heard that Halloween costumes originated from pagan traditions where people dressed up in costumes to scare off negative spirits. And these days, Halloween is less about scaring demons away and more about having an excuse to be someone or something else. For one night a year on Halloween, we get to become a character who isn't actually us. You're doing your makeup differently. You're wearing something you wouldn't usually wear. You might even be speaking with an accent or in another voice that isn't yours. You become your costume, at least for the night. And guess what? This practice can totally up-level your business. I'm talking more revenue, more visibility, better clients, and the works. And one of the first things I teach in my mastermind, the Alchemical Business Intensive, is the power of adopting an alter ego. Fear of visibility is one of the main things that holds so many business owners back from hitting their goals. And I've seen this impact business owners even when they're already making multiple 6 and 7 figures. Even if they're totally fine with being the face and name of their business, this fear shows up in smaller ways that holds them back from bringing all their genius ideas forward in their business. Obviously, if you're scared of people interacting with your work, or you're worried about what every one of the thousands of people in your audience have to think about you, your business is never going to be as successful as it could be because you're subconsciously holding them off. This especially pops up when you're reaching for the next level. Maybe you're all fine and dandy with your 10,000 followers interacting with you on Instagram, but what about 100,000 people or 1 million people? Right? So here's a fun hack. Create an alter ego. Celebrities do this all the time. They're actually trained to do this because when you're in the public eye, you get bashed a lot, whether you're a saint, and being able to say they're not bashing me, they're bashing my alter ego is really protective for them as individuals. This is literally what publicists do. They help celebrities create and maintain this public image of whatever they want to show the world. So if you're in the public eye, even if it's just to a few thousand people on Instagram, stepping into a new identity can bring you so much confidence around showing up. And it gives you resilience if something that you don't want happens, like you get a nasty message. Just think of how you feel when you're wearing a Halloween costume or go to a costume party. Isn't it so intriguing that you start acting a different way than your quote unquote normal self? Your Halloween costume may have you making out with someone you normally wouldn't think of as your type, quote unquote, your type, or in your league, or going out and smashing pumpkins, something you wouldn't dream of in normal life. And it's not just Scorpio vibes in the air. It's the power of an alter ego. The bigger your business gets, the more important this is. And alter egos are such a good fix for this because they trigger altered states. Anytime you transcend or descend from your average waking state, this is usually coupled with releases of various chemicals in the brain, right? That creates an altered state. We do this on a daily basis: exercising, drinking, caffeine, spending time in nature, listening to music, having sex, even smiling. All of those trigger altered states. They put us in an altered state. And there are also more potent ways to get into altered states: shamanic drumming, meditating, hypnosis, kundalini yoga, lucid dreaming, active dreaming. There's a long list. But there's also accessing the alter ego, where you're consciously stepping outside your average waking state and into a new identity. And we can create alter egos from anything we want. The classic example is Sasha Fierce. Beyonce started her career by singing for her church. And as she got bigger and bigger, and she started singing and dancing in ways that may or may not be church friendly, it felt uncomfortable for her to be sexy or dance in certain ways coming from that church background. So she created the alter ego, Sasha Fierce, where she felt more freedom and confidence in stepping into a new role outside of her background and leaning into those parts of her career that she used to feel cautious about. If you do this as a business owner or thought leader, it allows your brain to be able to separate itself from feedback and criticism. Instead of people criticizing you, they're criticizing your alter ego. Okay. There's a really great book on this called Alter Ego, or no, it's actually The Alter Ego Effect. It's an excellent read. Highly recommend it. But let's jump into you actually creating your alter ego. So what you can do is you can sit or lie down and open up a new page in your journal and journal on these questions. What fear is preventing you from growing to the next level? What fear is preventing you from growing to the next level? Maybe it's being seen or getting rejected. What quality or behavior do you need to bust through that fear? What quality or behavior do you need to bust through that fear? Maybe it's confidence. Maybe it's committing to doing videos on your social media account. Who do I know that embodies that quality? Who do I know that embodies that quality? And finally, what is my unique version of that embodiment? What is my unique version of that embodiment? So you can use the person that you know that embodies that thing as your alter ego, or you can envision your unique embodiment of that quality. So this is the start of your new alter ego. And start carrying these qualities over to your new persona, your current persona. So maybe you start wearing red on work days, or not wearing anything at all, or you start being loud and outgoing, even though you've always been an introvert, right? Whatever actually aligns with the alter ego that you come up with. And this can carry over into every area of your life. If your alter ego is charming, you might become the person who starts up conversation in line at the grocery store. If she's a ton of fun, maybe you start going out to bars more, or you even start having more sex if your alter ego is super sexy and sensual. Just start living as her. This persona is totally up to you to define. Make her yours. Give her all the traits you envy in other people. Let her do all the things you always wanted to do, but maybe felt too taboo or too much, outside of your comfort zone. The whole point is that you're not toning anything down. A lot of the time, people will actually dial up the volume on those parts of themselves that they usually silence and let it take over. So just remember that this alter ego isn't you. You can give her a name if you want, but you don't have to. And invoke her when you need to, before the sales call, when writing an email, before recording the video. So my challenge for you is that you start showing up for your audience as this other version of yourself. I mean, obviously, first go through the exercises and create your alter ego with the qualities that you're looking to actually embody, and start showing up as her in whatever little ways make sense that your intuition leads you on. So this one highly magical practice can completely transform your marketing, and it is oh so timely for Halloween. And if this podcast is helping you, please subscribe, rate, and review it in your podcast app. It seriously helps get it out to more people who need it. And I just love reading what you write. I will see you next week for our first ever man on the podcast. Oh my goodness. We are diving deep into building an audience of rabid fans. So I will see you there.